All right. Okay, it says we are live. We are live. We are live. All right, so I started just a few minutes early because surprisingly, I was early. I always cut this right down to the wire and set everything up like literally right as I'm about to go live, but I was about 10 minutes early and just was sitting here. So I was like, you know what? Let's go live. Give YouTube a couple extra minutes to get all the notifications out to everybody. And I'm happy. I'm excited to be back. It's been a while since we've done a live stream, particularly an Arcade1Up live stream, and I always enjoy doing these. Hopefully everybody got notified in enough time. I think I put this up about 5 hours ago, so we'll have to see, but I cannot be any more excited. I know I am a little bit late to the party, as you guys could tell by the title and the thumbnail. We're going to be talking about the brand new NBA Jam Deluxe Edition, as well as the Partycade that's exclusive to Costco. I'm not going to go like too deep dive into it as far as like all the cost and specs and everything that's featured on it, because I'm sure that's been done 100 times already, because I'm probably about like 4 or 5 days late right now, but that's just kind of life right now because I have a baby on the way. So life is very busy between getting the baby stuff ready, baby shower, work, and then doing my regular YouTube videos as well as the live streams and everything like that. So life is just very, very hectic at the moment. And let me just make sure that's muted, so hopefully we have no audio issues. But how is everything sounding? How does everything look? Are we good here? I'm still gonna give YouTube just a few more minutes to send the notifications out, and because like I said, I did start early, so I don't want to start covering the topic yet till at least 7:30. But how is everybody doing? It's been a minute since I've talked to everybody. Who do we have in the chat? Anybody in the chat as of yet? Let's see. I know last couple streams that I did, the chat was acting a little bit weird. So hopefully we're okay today. It looks like we're okay. I don't see any chats yet, but hopefully that's just not it being weird again. But anyways, yeah, so like I said, I'm not gonna go like too deep into all the specs of these cabinets, but I do want to do kind of a brief overview of all the new changes and features of this cabinet, as well as the price point and release date. And then I also do just want to see how everybody feels about this cabinet. It is yet another re-release by Arcade1Up. I don't know really how to feel about this, especially with NBA Jam being a personal favorite of mine, but I just don't know how to feel about a re-release yet again. It seems that's like kind of the motto now for Arcade1Up, right? Is less original releases and more re-releases, especially if we talk about Pac-Man. But we're gonna get into all of that in just a few minutes here. So let me go ahead and pull up my notes, because I did write at least a few notes down, so I can keep track of everything. Obviously. All right. So we are good. Stream is up. And all right, so it is now 7:30. So I am going to go ahead and jump right into everything here. So obviously, if you guys are been living under a rock, then you don't know what's going on. But Arcade1Up has officially announced that they are releasing a NBA Jam Deluxe cabinet. Now, this is the exact same NBA Jam cabinet that we had before as far as the games list goes, and all the games and all the features and everything like that. It's exactly the same. So if you have the previous NBA Jam cabinet, there may not really be a reason to get this one unless you like the redesigned shape. The new body of the cab is kind of using that NFL Blitz body. I think it's actually like straight up just the NFL Blitz body. I have a feeling that they probably had like a lot of, I guess, like leftover templates, I guess you could say, for the NFL Blitz cab, and decided, you know what, we're just going to make NBA Jam and use that same body style, which I don't really mind, because I really do like the NFL Blitz body style. Just playing it in person, it was very nice, and having that slight slant to the control deck, kind of like how Marvel vs. Capcom has, I think that was just a really nice touch and added a lot of comfortability to gameplay. So in that aspect, I don't really mind. I like the new shape, especially because NBA Jam was what, like Gen 3 or 4, so it was still early Arcade1Up. So when it comes to the original NBA Jam, it's very outdated as far as design goes. It's still using that original design. I think people refer to it as the shark fin design, that basically every single Arcade1Up cabinet, no matter what game it was, they all use that same generic design. So I don't mind the updated design of the cabinet. Now, pricing of the cab, right? And this is just talking about the straight up the arcade. We're not talking about the Partycade yet. I'm kind of confused with the pricing, because when I checked initially when it was announced, I think the price was $500 if I'm not mistaken. But then now they have it listed at $650. So I don't know I guess somebody made an error uploading on the website and they put the wrong price initially. So it looks like right now the current price is going to be $650, which that is absolutely crazy to me. $650 for a re-release of a cab that we already had with no really new features other than a couple light up buttons, the obviously new deluxe style body that has the riser dimensions built directly into the cabinet. But it's just like, man, I don't know, because you had the Mortal Kombat deluxe cab that came out, and I think the Pac-Man deluxe cabs that came out, and those were priced at $500, and that wasn't terrible. Although, who needs another version of Pac-Man? But they said going forward that was kind of going to be the price, was $500 for the deluxe cabs. But I don't know why NBA Jam deluxe cab is $650, which is still crazy. I don't know anybody that's purchasing this day one, honestly. At that price point, is just absolutely ridiculous. Big B73 says, I'll pass. My cats lay on my OG one, and they don't dig the slope. Yeah, I mean, the slope is great in terms of, like, gameplay, but yeah, it's like you put anything on these sloping things, and my phone's kind of big, so that's not a good example, but here's, like, a remote. Like, see, it slides right off. So, I don't like that aspect of it, because I do use my OG cabs. I put my drinks on there and rest them on there, and this I would not feel comfortable putting a drink on because it's just going to slide right off. So in that aspect I do agree with you, but as far as gameplay goes, that slant to the control deck, I think it actually just adds a lot more comfortability having it that way. But it's kind of like a trade-off. What do you want, the comfortability or the ability to actually like place things on these cabs? So you got to pick and choose. But yeah, so what I was saying is I don't know why with this cab being a deluxe cab it has that increased price to $650. I don't know if it's because of the NBA license is more expensive. Honestly, I have no idea. So that's kind of like a pass for me on that. Now, if this was cheaper, would I get it? Probably not, because for me, even though I say this all the time, I'm a much bigger NBA fan than I am NFL. Basketball is my favorite sport, no pun intended. But basketball is my favorite sport. I love the way they dribble up and down the court. Anyways, basketball is my favorite sport. I don't really watch football like that, but when it comes between NBA Jam and NFL Blitz, I think NFL Blitz is way more fun than NBA Jam to me. And I love basketball, so it's kind of strange that I think that. But if I buy any cab at that price, it's going to be NFL Blitz, which I keep saying, and I still need to do it with the baby on the way. Responsibilities, man. But anyways, if that $650 is a little bit steep for you and you want to save $50, there is a promo going on right now on Arcade1Up's website. If you use the code NBA Jam 2023, so all one word, you save $50, and that's good until July 15th. The release date for this cab is October 6th, so right before the start of the NBA season. That's kind of what their websites like advertising it as. Get it now and you'll get it just in time for the start of the NBA season, but that doesn't really matter, I don't think. But and we already touched on the new shape, and another new feature it has is light up buttons. So the buttons on the actual control deck light up, as well as the coin slots light up. Now, the coin slots, is, to my understanding, those are always going to be lit, like kind of like with the marquee. But the actual buttons on the control deck, those are optional. So there's actually a toggle switch right on the control deck where you can either have the lights on or you have the lights off. I don't know why you would want them off, but if for some reason you don't like the light up lights, then you go ahead and turn them off, but now you're stuck with translucent buttons. So it's kind of like you have to pick and choose what you want. I mean, you could just swap the buttons out if you wanted to. And then light up buttons, I already covered that. And then as you see on screen here, the Partycade. This is going to be exclusive to Costco and is going to cost $300. Now, honestly, this I was actually kind of interested in. I would not mind having NBA Jam in this form factor. For NBA Jam, I don't really feel like I need a big, the whole big setup, honestly. NBA Jam, I enjoy more just kind of playing single player. NFL Blitz definitely is one that I would need like full on, 4-player, that type of thing. But NBA Jam, I wouldn't mind having this little version. But $300 is a bit much for me. I remember when these Partycades used to cost like $100 when they first came out, which is, I guess inflation, right? But yeah, I wouldn't mind that Partycade. I'm actually like pretty interested in that Partycade more so than the full-size arcade. I just don't like the design of the full-size arcade. It's very plain and generic, and I don't know. I don't like it. So having that Partycade, mounting it on the wall somewhere, and just having it as a quick little pass by and play type of thing, I really would like that. What's up, brother? As for me, I have the OG cab, and yeah, no thanks to the rehash. WTF are the new titles and the 80s cabs for this year. So that's another thing I did want to touch on once we're done covering all this NBA Jam talk. Is what is Arcade1Up like kind of doing this year? I mean, the year's already more than halfway over. We're already in the almost the middle of July right now. Like a couple more days, we're in the middle of July, which is wild. But yeah, we're gonna definitely cover that in a second. I just want to go over my notes. The last thing I have on my notes is that this is part of the Vault series, which if you guys know anything about like what the Vault series is, look back at Disney. Disney would basically back in the days they would put things available on VHS, then they would make it unavailable for a while. Um, then they would bring it back out maybe 10 years later. They'd bring it, re-release it back on VHS again, and it would be for a limited time, and then they would take it away and then re-release it on DVD and then take it away for a while. That's what Disney made famous, is the Disney Vault, right? So releasing things, letting them sit for a while, and then re-releasing them again. And it seems to me, I mean, honestly, that's what Arcade1Up has kind of been doing for a while now, but it seems to me that that is kind of their new line and the new term that they're going to use in order to justify all of these re-releases. Even though when Disney re-releases something, it would be, maybe like 5 to 10 years in between. NBA Jam it seems like it was just the other day that it released. Maybe it was like 2019 or something like that. So it's probably been like maybe 4 years or so. But I don't know. They're calling this the Vault Collection. This is the first thing that has been branded as the Vault Collection. So assuming, judging by this, they're going to be bringing back older titles, right? They do that all the time with Pac-Man, but maybe that'll be good for something like the best cabinet that comes to my mind is Final Fight. Final Fight would be the perfect cab, and I think would do really well, honestly, in the Vault line. Like, if you're going to start re-releasing older stuff, bring back stuff like that you only released once. Maybe something even like Rampage, right? Add a couple more games onto it or whatever, but, bring back Rampage that there's a lot of people that didn't get into Arcade1Up for the first couple years. So, like I said, something like Final Fight or Rampage or something like that, I think those would benefit from the re-releases, especially Final Fight, because to my knowledge, I don't think, I'm just looking at my Final Fight cab over here. I'm not sure if any of these games released on other cabs. They might have on like the sit down head to head Capcom cabinets. Maybe some of these came out. But just this package as a whole, the Final Fight package as a whole, a lot of people missed out on that. And to my honest opinion, I think that is still hands down the best cab that you can get as far as variety goes. It has the most different variety of games, from a side-scrolling beat 'em up to a shooter to other like platformers like Strider and stuff like that. So just 4 completely unique and different games all the way around. You wonder why they can't make the Partycade more slanted. Are you talking about the control deck? They probably can, to be honest with you, but it also just might. I don't know. I'm just thinking of maybe the way that the Partycade is designed with the body of the Partycade. Maybe that has something to do with it, like structurally. I don't know, honestly. I don't see why they wouldn't if they could, but that would be probably a lot more comfortable and probably give you the ability to mount the whole cab just a little bit higher on the wall. If you have the control deck just slanted more, it probably gives you the ability to mount it higher, because now instead of the control deck being here, it'll be here, and it'll just be easier to grab or whatever, if that makes any sense. So that would be really cool to see. I would like to see that. Headshake TV says John D has to be a Disney fan. I mean, I'm a Disney fan myself, as you can see. I got it like tatted on me. So, I'm a big Disney fan, but I don't always agree with all of the decisions Disney makes as far as well, for me, it's more so like theme park stuff. I'm really into the theme park, so I'm not the biggest fan of their theme park decisions, but the whole Vault thing, that was like Disney's thing. Like, they're all. I'm just looking at all my VHSs I have. They all say like Vault Collection on them and stuff like that. It's just an excuse to re-release stuff down the line, because that was, back in the day, how you would get people to buy things that they already owned or, maybe didn't own. That's the benefit of like re-releasing stuff, is that you can get things that you missed out on the first time. But not everything needs like a re-release. For instance, Pac-Man. There's like a million different versions of Pac-Man out there. I know that's the running joke with Arcade1Up, but it's honestly the truth. It's like How many times do people need to buy Pac-Man? But I guess Pac-Man probably is their best seller, so that makes sense. And I'm gonna throw this up on the screen, put it over here, just so we see something other than. There we go. That looks good there. Just so we see something other than the cabs. Just a little bit of NBA Jam gameplay for you guys. Hopefully the sound should be muted. If there's any sound interference, let me know. But yeah, we'll throw that there. So yeah, I don't know. This cab, it seems just like, I don't know. I think everyone's kind of in agreement. It's just like, who really needs this? Like, the people who have the original cab don't really care for it. The only people I can really see buying this are people that missed out on the original cab. That's my only thing that I can see. So I don't think this is going to sell well, to be honest with you. This also probably had to be some sort of like partnership with the NBA for the NBA con that they were at, and also kind of like promotion for the NBA season coming up in Summer League and all that stuff. That's my only like logic around it, I guess, or like, thing that's the only thing I can think to make it make sense. But I don't think these cabs are going to sell well at all. I think you're going to see these like on sale at discounted prices, for sure. And I think I wouldn't be surprised if we see them on like Black Friday sales as well. I mean, they do release in October, so a month later on sale for Black Friday. I mean, it's not unheard of, so I would not be surprised if that is the case. But at $650, even at $500, that would have been a lot to ask of people. And now you're gonna do $650. Well, these are gonna sit. These 100% are going to sit, even with the $50 discount, or even some places. I think Shop Hippo. I was watching Michael B's video. I think Shop Hippo has like $100 off. That still puts it at $550. That's, I don't know, $500 I think would have been the sweet spot, and that's still kind of pushing it. I think maybe like something like $400 maybe would have been better. I would have liked to seen the Partycade at maybe $100 or $200, but I'm not biting the bullet on $300. Like I said, if I'm gonna do anything, it's gonna be NFL Blitz. That's still like on my bucket list of cabs that I want to get. You'll bet every past cab gets re-released in their new form factor. Every past cab. I'm just thinking, like, I don't think they'll re-release the OG Street Fighter cab. Like, I wouldn't doubt it that they release another version of Street Fighter. Like, I mean, they already have with, like, the Yoga Flame and the Shinku Hadouken. So, but I don't think in, like, that aspect of the original Street Fighter cab that they'll be released. Maybe we'll see, like, a re-release of Centipede. I'm just thinking of, like, back to all the original cabs. Centipede, like I said, Final Fight will be a great one to re-release. Space Invaders will be a good one, but they can't price it at this $500 because, you're only getting Space Invaders, and I think that was it, honestly, on that cab. It was like Space Invaders 1 and 2 or something like that. I just want to go back and look at all the other cabinets, Arcade1Up cabinet, and see what would really benefit from a re-release. We already got the Mortal Kombat done in the deluxe version. Would they redo Simpsons? Maybe, but I mean, those were just on clearance, the original Simpsons, for like, $200. Some places was like $50, so I don't know if they'll benefit from that. They've already done Turtles twice, so they're gonna do Turtles again in the deluxe form factor. I don't know. X-Men, I think that one might sell well depending at what price point you put it at. Just looking at everything else. Killer Instinct, they already made like 3 different Killer Instinct cabs, so I don't know if they would do that in a deluxe. It's just, I wouldn't put it past them, but I don't see that happening. Let me see. Terminator might be one that they might re-release in the deluxe form factor. But yeah, as far as like a Capcom fighter, I don't think that they're going to just like, they'll make like a different variation of the Capcom fighter, like they did with the Shinku Hadouken and the Yoga Flame. I think they would do something like that. Just looking at other past cabs. Yeah, man, I don't know. I still think like that final fight, I think that would sell really well. I don't think they would redo Marvel Superheroes, only because Marvel vs. Capcom 2 already exists, but that has me thinking with how well Marvel vs. Capcom 2 did and how quickly Marvel vs. Capcom 2 sold out. Let me just get back over here. With how quickly Marvel vs. Capcom 2 sold out, I would not be surprised if, I don't know if maybe this year, maybe next year or something like that, but I would not be surprised if we see Marvel vs. Capcom 2 kind of re-released in that deluxe form factor. And I don't think that's a terrible idea just because of how much of a demand there was and still is for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I don't know if everybody who wanted MVC2 got their hands on it. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like a lot of people. I don't know. To be honest, now that I'm thinking about it, like the hype was real for Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but things kind of got quiet after the release. I mean, granted, there was all the issues of not having online available day one and stuff like that, but now that I think about it, I don't think that would be, from a business standpoint, a terrible one if they could, to re-release. I think that one would sell really well. So those were two. Those are two I wouldn't be mad at seeing a deluxe version of: Final Fight and Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And Final Fight, only because I still have mine. I probably wouldn't jump on it, but that wouldn't be a bad thing to do to replace your old one, because I'm sure it would come with, newer upgrades as far as speakers, buttons. The technology that they use has come a long way since the Wave 2, I think, Final Fight was, of cabs. So definitely, definitely that would be a very good one, I think, at least in my opinion. We need Pit Fighter. They have the Atari license, so that makes sense. Pit Fighter is actually a game I'm not too familiar with. Let me look that up really quickly. Pit Fighter. Yeah, the older games are not really. Huh. Yeah, I've never seen this, honestly. Interesting. Yeah, never heard of this. Looks actually kind of interesting though. Yeah, I might have to check out some gameplay of this or something after this stream. This looks kind of interesting. It uses that art style of like Mortal Kombat. So, huh? Yeah, I gotta check that out. Here's the older graphics looking one for Commodore 64 over here. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Yeah, I definitely will have to check that out. That's a game I've actually never heard of until right now. So, I definitely want to watch some gameplay on that. But what other games or what other cabinets do you think would benefit from a deluxe re-release? That's what I would like to know, right? What it seems like they keep giving us the stuff that we don't want, I guess, per se, or like that nobody asked for. Now, I'm not mad at the Fast and the Furious cab, like I mentioned in my last videos about that cab. I don't mind it at all. I'm a big Fast and the Furious fan. I would love to get my hands on it, but just unfortunately, like space right now and money, again, baby on the way, guys, baby on the way. So, but that is another one that I would like to get for sure. I would love to get I would love to get two of them if I had the space. I would love to get two Fast and the Furious cabs and just pair them up and have that whole racing experience. But I really hope that they make a sit-down version of that cab. That is what I need to see, a sit-down Fast and the Furious cab. You got me sold on that. As long as it's done right. If the proportions are there, everything like that, then 100% I would love to see a sit-down Fast and the Furious cabinet. But I'm trying to think what other games would benefit from a re-release. I don't know if you guys have any suggestions, but for me, that would take the cake right there. Final Fight and Marvel vs. Capcom 2 done in that deluxe style with a couple upgrades here and there. Maybe some Marvel vs. Capcom 2, some light up buttons maybe would be like a good upgrade. Other than that, and obviously a lit coin door. I think that would just be perfect. And then Final Fight, that just any upgrades that it gets would be an improvement from what it has now. So, yeah, honestly, I'm blanking on anything else because like we got a million versions of Pac-Man. Turtles has been done twice. All the Capcom fighters have been done a million times already. 100 different versions. I would like to see some newer versions of Street Fighter. I love Street Fighter 2 as much as the next person, but I think the Street Fighter Alpha series would be great. Obviously, Street Fighter 3 would be another good one as well. Let's move on from Street Fighter 2. I think we've got enough versions of Street Fighter 2. I would love to see some more of the crossover stuff, like Capcom versus SNK maybe. I don't know how tricky the SNK license is, but that would be a pretty good one to see. Speaking of which, speaking of Marvel and Capcom and all that stuff, I know this is kind of like off topic, but did you guys see the latest pictures from the set of Deadpool 3 with Wolverine today in that comic accurate costume? Looked pretty good. I mean, I need to still see it in action in a trailer or something like that, but from the pictures that we saw, I'm hyped. Deadpool 3 is going to be wild. If you guys are, into the whole MCU and everything like that, Deadpool 3 should be absolutely crazy. Their pattern is a few re-releases and a couple new releases per year. Actually, yes, I was going to say that and it slipped my mind. So, yeah, this year, I'm just trying to think. We're already in July. The year is more than halfway up already, right? We're 7 months into the year. And we saw, like, what's been released this year? New cab, Fast and the Furious, and that might have been it. I don't count the deluxe cabs as new cabs because they're just re-releases of stuff that already exists. So we had the Mortal Kombat Deluxe. We had the the 3 different Pac-Man Deluxe cabs that existed. Miss Pac-Man that got like pulled, I think. Did Miss Pac-Man come out? I think Miss Pac-Man got pulled and the regular Pac-Man came out, something like that. So they still got one of those on the back burner to release at some point. The Casino Cade like came and went, and they pulled that off the market too. I don't even know if the Casino Cade is still happening, which is unfortunate because that looked kind of fun. And then you had the Infinity tablet, whatever that was. And it just seems like a lot of stuff that nobody, I don't want to say nobody, but like stuff that a majority of people aren't really interested in or really asked for. And I think that was it. So like legitimately, when it comes to titles, you had one new title with Fast and Furious, and I think everything else has just been re-releases just in new form factors. And that's kind of where they've been going, which is also kind of strange because obviously I don't work for them. I don't work for their marketing department and all that. So I don't know how all these licensing stuff and how all that works. But I do remember in one of their interviews, they said that they have the rights to like 90% of the arcade titles in existence. And if that's the case, why do we keep seeing new re-releases? So, I don't know if that was just them kind of maybe over exaggerating or trying to flex a little bit. But if I don't, if you have 90% of the licenses, it was something like that. Don't quote me on like the exact 90%, but they said they had like a large percentage of all the arcade licenses already acquired. But if that's the case, why do we keep seeing the same stuff over and over again? Maybe they have to spread the new releases out because of costs or something like that. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like Arcade1Up has more money now than they did when they first started. But it seems like when they first started, they were constantly putting out new games and new stuff. But yeah, I would like to see something else other than re-releases. Obviously, as we all would, right? You're hearing Time Crisis. Yeah, Time Crisis was leaked. Man, Time Crisis was leaked like a year and a half, 2 years ago, something ridiculous like that. I remember there were pictures from. Let me see. From the headquarters down here in Miami, Time Crisis Arcade1Up. Yeah, there's the leaked images from their warehouse. That was like a year and a half ago, I think. Let me see if this will let me do this here. All right, this leak, I'll tell you exactly when it was. November 4th, 2022. So yeah, a year ago, basically, right? And the thing with that is that's just because it existed and there's pictures of it doesn't mean that it's actually coming out. If you guys remember when I did my whole NFL Blitz preview over at the Arcade1Up headquarters, I accidentally showed off Double Dragon, and that was the talk of the community for a very, very long time. And that was what, a year ago now, also somewhere around there, and we still have not seen or heard about Double Dragon ever since. So just because it exists doesn't mean it's coming out, because they have to make prototypes in order to show off to the license holders. And I'm sure there's been hundreds. I'm sure there's been like a Tekken prototype and all these other different things that we haven't seen in the public eye that have been made but haven't seen the light of day. Which, speaking of which, why haven't we got Tekken yet? Tekken is up there. Tekken 3 specifically. If we get a Tekken 3 cab, like, I don't care about space or money or anything like that. I will make room. I will easily get this Pac-Man cabinet out of here and put Tekken in its place. I might even put Tekken over here. Now, I don't know. It depends on the artwork. If Marvel vs. Capcom 2 stays here, Tekken goes here. But yeah, definitely Tekken 3 is on my must-haves. I know a long time ago, like when Arcade1Up like first started, I made like a top 10 list of all the things, all the cabs I wanted to see, and NFL Blitz and Tekken were right up there on the top of my list. We got NFL Blitz, oh, and Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but we got those. So hopefully we get Tekken. Doesn't the license expire after a while? 19K Fox said time R said 1. Is there a typo there? Did I miss something? I don't know if licenses. I'm sure. Like after some point in time, like they come to an agreement with these companies, right? So like somebody like Capcom might say like, you can use our license for as long as you want. Where somebody like, I don't know, Sega or something like that, right? They might say, yeah, you can use our license for the next year. Well, they've only put out one Sega cab, so 19K Fox said Time Crisis is confirmed. My bad on the spam. You keep hitting send. Hey, no worries. Time Crisis is confirmed. Well, until we hear it from Arcade1Up directly, I'm not saying like that he doesn't know or anything like that. Honestly, I didn't see like his video where he, said anything about it or whatever. But I just don't. Not that I don't believe him. I just don't believe any rumors until we actually hear like an official announcement from Arcade1Up. Because like I said, I saw Double Dragon and that disappeared. And then even if they do announce something like they did the Casino-cade, that doesn't necessarily mean that that it's coming out, because the Casino-cade, I don't know what legal issues they had or whatever. I have a feeling is that there's something to do with like gambling, right? I feel like it was being like I don't even know how to put this. It looked like they were trying to sell like a gambling machine, and maybe it looked like they were promoting gambling, so they had to maybe pull the release of that to maybe reword some stuff on the packaging or the marketing material or what the case is. But I mean, they announced that and then they pulled it, and then like I mentioned earlier with the Miss Pac-Man or the Pac-Man Deluxe, whichever one it was, that got revealed and that got pulled. So honestly, it seems like just one kind of a mess at the moment. I don't know exactly like what's going on over there, honestly, like. And they've been also very quiet lately. Like it's kind of weird, right? So they started the year good, doing all these Arcade1 update shows and trying to stay engaged with the community and dropping the app and doing all of these things. But has anybody heard anything about the app or even used the app lately? Honestly, the app is just pointless. That unless you're trying to, like message, like if somebody wants to message me or whatever, they can do so through the app. Like if you guys have a question, outside of the stream or whatever, you guys can hit me up on the app or things like that. But honestly, like I have not touched that app. I honestly forgot it even exists. I don't even know if I don't think I've even got notifications from that app in the longest time. Let me see. I'm opening it right now. News. Yeah, so NBA Jam was the last thing. Obviously, they put that, and then before that, it was like, hey, we're having a sale on June 16th. So they post like once or twice a month on here, basically. But yeah, the app just needs more features. As it stands, it's just kind of useless. But yeah, as I was saying, like they started out the year very strong, and they were doing good. They were engaging with the community. They were very active. And then ever since Fast and the Furious was launched, and then kind of people were upset that they used false advertising for Fast and the Furious, they kind of disappeared. And they've been very, very quiet lately. And then they came out of nowhere and dropped NBA Jam. And then they kind of went quiet again. Honestly, I expected to see some sort of like Arcade1 update episode or something like that. Maybe talking about it, covering it. Maybe even an Arcade1 update like revealing it. But it was just honestly like revealed out of the blue. It was listed on their website. And people found it on the website before they announced it. And then they just made like a quick Twitter and Instagram post and Facebook post to announce it. And that was it. Not even like a special video or anything. So I don't know, man. I don't know what they got going on. Those Casino-cades are the dumbest thing ever. It's almost like they know that they're already oversaturated, the rehashes, and they're just going after the grandma. The thing with the Casino-cades is like, what's the point? Like, you're not winning any money. I don't see the point in betting fake digital money, right? I don't know. That's just me, but I don't know. I still love Arcade1Up. Don't get me wrong. Like, you guys know I've been supporting Arcade1Up since day one. I was literally the first person making Arcade1Up content. So, I support Arcade1Up, to the fullest. But it just seems like they kind of need to sit down and get their stuff together. I don't feel like they know the direction they're trying to go in. I feel like they just kind of make decisions, and then based on the feedback or backlash of the community, then they kind of do what the community wants and try to do what the community wants, but then they go back to doing their own thing, and it becomes this weird thing with them. And I just feel like they're missing an identity. I feel like they just don't have an identity, maybe not the right leadership, or maybe like I don't even know, just something's missing, something's off. If you've been around the community since the beginning, you can see the decline. And I don't mean the decline of the company like they're going out of business or anything like that, but you can just see the decline of everything. Well, not everything. There are things that they have improved on, like customer service and replacement parts and stuff like that. They've dramatically improved over the years, but you can just, I don't know, see the decline of the enthusiasm of the fan base, of the releases, of social media presence, just a little bit of everything. It's just, I don't know, something's missing there, but I can go on all day about that. I think I'm going to wrap it up. I just did want to do this quick video just kind of addressing and announcing, obviously, Arcade1Up NBA Jam. I've been a little late, obviously, like I mentioned. I have a child that's on the way in just a couple more weeks, which is still mind-blowing to me. So life has been very busy and hectic, man. Big B73, off topic, but when's your next travel vlog, or are you strapped until the baby comes? So I still have, I have videos on this channel that I put out, and then I have videos from my second channel that I put out. I don't know if you're subscribed to my JNC Adventures channel. I have a couple more travel videos coming out on that channel. I probably filmed between this channel and the other channel, I probably filmed like 8 videos or so, and I only was traveling because of work, so I had to drive to New York, so I don't know if you caught my other vlogs and stuff on my other channel, so I have a few more videos coming out on that channel as far as like travel vlog stuff, and then, for this channel, I try not to post any of like my travel vlogs on this channel because I don't think too many people are really interested. That's why I created a separate channel for that stuff. So on that channel, the next trip I have planned is not till after the baby comes. So the baby, she's supposed to be here sometime in the middle of August. So in November, I think I'm going to be heading back to the theme parks once again. Can't wait. So if you're into that type of content, look forward to that. But yeah, definitely a few more videos from my New York vlog on the other channel. So, but yeah, I do appreciate you asking me that, because those videos are like, my vlog videos weren't getting a ton of views, so it's good to see, somebody was actually entertained and watching them. So I appreciate that, man. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. I'm going to start wrapping up and get out of here now. If you guys can drop a like on this video if you haven't already, that'd be much appreciated. And if you're watching this after the fact, definitely let me know your thoughts and opinions about the current state of Arcade1Up, all of the NBA Jam rehash and everything like that. Let me know down in the comments below about that. And I think that's going to do it. I don't have too many other things to announce. I have one video planned for probably tomorrow or the day after. I got a toy review coming up on this channel. Like I said, travel vlogs on the other channel. And yeah, so that's going to do it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Not too many people in here today, but I appreciate everybody that did come through. So I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. As always, guys, stay tuned for more, and I'll definitely see you guys next time.